Eric with Patch Foundry, pumped today to announce the release of the Worship Pads Volume 2 pack for the Nord Stage 4. Now, this pack has been available for a little while for the Nord Stage 3, but this month we went back to the drawing board and completely reimagined it for the Nord Stage 4 and used all of the synthesis and audio effects that the Nord Stage 4 has to offer. This pack was designed to solve a problem that I was running into. I needed more pads for when I was touring and when I was playing at my church, and I wanted orchestral sounding pads, things that sounded really big, like I had a symphony in my keyboard that was all reverbed out and padded out and all that. But I didn't have much space because I loaded up all of these other packs that I had, like the J6 synth pack that's a little bit bigger. And so I wanted something really small that I could drop in and just use that sounded really good. So what I did was I sampled all kinds of different orchestral sounds, and then I chopped them up into these tiny, tiny bits of audio and looped them, and then just added all kinds of weird effects, and that created these giant pads that sort of sound symphonic without being directly symphonic in nature. So if you're curious about what that might sound like, let's take a look.
All right, so I'm using a Nord Stage 4 Compact 73. This is going to work on any of the three keyboards they offer, the 73, the 76, and of course the 88. And I love the fact that the front panel controls, they're all the same, doesn't matter which keyboard you have. Very, very handy. Now, another thing to note, you're going to get a total of 45 files when you download this. You'll have 15 15 programs. So 15 different program files that you can use here. That controls all of the parameters here across the board. And then you're going to have 15 presets for synth. So synth presets that you can then stack and layer, adjust, control the audio for each individual layer. It's very, very fun and handy. And then, of course, you're going to get the original samples as well in case you want to do a deep dive and actually build your own sound. So let's start off with just the first one. One other note, I'm also sweeping in the cutoff with my expression pedal. You can do that with a mod wheel if you want, but I prefer the expression pedal because you can really keep your hands on the keys. It's just a lot of fun. So anyway, here we go. And as you can hear there, when I hit layer scene 2, what that does is it allows me to be able to engage a different set of samples. And this is designed for like people in a worship scenario where maybe you start off in your first, your first song starts off with a very gentle pad, or maybe the very start of the song needs a gentle pad. And then when you get to the chorus, you need to be full out. It gives you a way to build without switching patches, which is really handy because it just simplifies everything. So these are all based on different samples I found of orchestral things. They're very, very, very small samples that have been looped, so they just sit here and repeat. take up the perfect amount of space, in my opinion. And all of these are designed to be played underneath a piano. Yeah, and they've all got little scoops to kind of move out of the way of the typical sonic spots that like a piano would inhabit and a vocal. So as a player who's played a ton in the CCM and worship world, that is important. Give you another example. By the way, I have to program something for the organ section and the piano section, but really the programs are focused on just the pads. So what I've done is just put a generic white grand piano and generic organ sound in those two other sections. They're not really designed to be played. If you want to add this to something, you can add it to the worship collection. These pads are really easy to add. Let me just show you. So let's take the next one. Sounds like that. Let's say that I've got a worship collection patch up. Let's just pretend it's this piano. And let's just say that I don't like the way that that pad sounds. Although I actually do. It's a secret. So I hold down Shift, Synth. And because you get those synth presets, you can dial in a whole bunch of different ones. And here it's probably hard to read, but it says W2 Orch Pad. So I'm going to scroll to another W2 one. This is from the Worship Collection or Worship Pads Volume 2. And let's just pick one at random here. Let's do the Oct Synth. I like that one better. Let me transpose it down. There we go. Now I've got maybe I want to adjust the volume. I can do that here. And if you notice, my cutoff is still controlling there because that's all saved in the synth preset. The reverb's there because of that. So it's super handy. And then if I like the way that that sounds, I'll just hit store and save it. This one's so deep. Even with just a generic piano, it sounds so good. Just a big sound. I don't remember off the top of my head how much sample storage this takes up, but it's very little. I want to say it's under 7 megabytes, which is just crazy considering how big these sound. And then some of these I've just chosen not to have a frequency control here in the pedal because some players just like to kind of set something like this. Like maybe if I come back over here and maybe they just want to set it to like this, really low, so they can just play. It's totally possible to do. So, yeah, I try to give you guys a variety. Clarinet, but there's never been a pad made out of that. Maybe. They've done everything now. Hard to believe that's a clarinet. Almost sounds like a pipe organ. You can, of course, adjust the octave here. So if you want something lower, just gotta make sure that this is yellow. Very symphonic here. Like I'd play piano under this like. Really bring some volume out there if you wanted. And I can get different textures out of each pad just by adjusting the volume here. So if I want less of that bright, just bring down the back, bring up the front. I could even play them. Have it sweep up instead. Just this massive synthscape that you can get using just like less than a megabyte of sample across all threes. It's just crazy. That's it. That's all of the pads. So yeah, all of these again are available for the Nord Stage 4. There's versions for others, keyboards obviously. There's videos on that if you check out just patchfoundry.com and look for your specific keyboard.
The Worship Pads Volume 2 pack is available starting today natively for the Nord Stage 4, which means you're going to get synth presets, you're going to get program files, and of course, you also get the original samples as well. Now, if you've already bought the version for the Nord Stage 4, the sample pack version for the Nord Stage 4, you're going to get a free upgrade to this and automatically be able to download it. If you haven't already bought the pack, what are you waiting for? You should definitely take a look.